There is a distinction I want to make right at the top of this one because it matters more than almost anything else in an agentic AI project. There is a difference between a workflow that is operational and a workflow that is ready to ship. Operational means it runs. Ready to ship means it runs reliably, produces the experience you want, and has earned your trust. The gap between those two states is where most agentic AI projects either pass or fail, and most of them fail. Gartner predicts that over 40% of agentic AI projects will be canceled by end of 2027. The reasons they cite: escalating costs, unclear business value, and inadequate risk controls. Here is the thing. Each of those is a measurement problem first. If you had defined success clearly, tested rigorously, and built in the right controls, you would know before you deployed whether the workflow was worth the investment. So how do we test? 3 layers. First, we test each agent in isolation. Before any agent gets wired into a workflow, it needs to perform its specific job reliably on its own. We throw a wide range of inputs at it: straightforward cases, edge cases, situations designed to trigger its guardrails, and we iterate until it is consistently operating within our established parameters. Second, we test each workflow. Once the agents are connected, we test the handoffs, the routing logic, the iteration loops, and the human-in-the-loop touchpoints. Third, we test the full end-to-end process. Not just whether each step works, but how the cumulative experience comes together, the way a real user would encounter it. To do that testing well, you need test scenarios. These are pre-built inputs that give you everything needed to put the workflow through its paces. Different use cases, different levels of complexity, edge cases, guardrail triggers, and situations that vary in difficulty and impact. In the email workflow example from the white paper, our test scenarios include things like a casual inquiry. Do you guys do this kind of work? A hot lead with urgency and budget attached, an out-of-bounds request that should trigger a guardrail, and a borderline case that requires genuine judgment. Here is something that might surprise you. We use agents to help us test agents. We work with what we call utility agents. Agents that do not participate in the live workflow but help us design, build, and test it. When given tight testing criteria, rubrics, and parameters, these agents can generate a nearly infinite number of test scenarios, review outputs, score results, prioritize issues, and recommend improvements. Once they are calibrated alongside a human reviewer, they can auto-loop overnight, running hundreds of test iterations while you sleep. That kind of volume is impossible to achieve manually, and volume is what builds confidence. Before we deploy any workflow to a live environment, we have a shipping target we need to hit. At least 80% of test runs need to score at the highest level. Performance is acceptable as is. The remaining 20% can score at the middle level, a minor issue that can be caught by human review. And we need 0 runs scoring at the lowest level. Do not ship, fix this first. It may take hundreds of test runs to reach that threshold. That is by design. The process needs to earn our trust before we give it access to real people and real decisions. This is design principle number 4, iterative testing. And the key word is iterative. We do not wait until the end to start testing. We test each agent as soon as it is built. We test each workflow as soon as it is wired. We keep testing after deployment. Testing is not a phase, it is a habit. The full white paper walks through the evaluation criteria, the scoring system, and how we calibrate human reviewers alongside utility agents during testing. The link is in the comments below.